Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so thrilled to be doing my 1 month update for my The Rock Pirates of the Caribbean palette. It has been quite the month, but before we dabble into where I'm at, let's go back in time and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what my palette looked like at the very beginning of this challenge. And now that you have been brushed up on where I started, let's go ahead and take a look at where I am after 1 month of usage. Ooh, okay, first off, before we start talking about the details, let me know if you liked that new format of how I showed you the update. If you do, just let me know because it is a little bit more coordination, but if it does create a better experience for you, that's what I'm here for. So just please let me have some feedback. But without further ado, let's talk about what I accomplished. So, I can't believe it, but I have pan on 2 of these shades in here. I have pan on Matey, which probably isn't that surprising because this has been like the go-to cream. If you guys are new to my eyeshadow repertoire, the way I use matte cream shades like that is after I lay down my base, which is my MAC paint pot, I then go from basically my crease up to my brow bone and I lay down that like cream colored shade. I just find that it does a nice job neutralizing that area and it also helps me to blend out other shadows. I don't tend to do a highlight outside of that because I don't have like just a small gap here. I've got like a ridge in my eye socket. I have pretty hooded eyes, so that just tends to be a thing that I don't think is very flattering on me. But I like the look of the cream as a way to just, again, show that I have shadow there, but not have like a shiny shadow in that area. So I didn't think I was gonna hit pan on this right away, and I did try with Ghostly. I tried to like switch back and forth, but I didn't always remain faithful to that. So I'll probably finish off Matey first and then work on Ghostly. Ghostly is a little bit starker, like it's a true white. It's workable, but I would say it's not my preferred compared to the 2. So if I do finish off Matey, I'm not gonna do an X through it. I'm gonna save it and repress cream powders into it once Ghostly is finished off. The other shade that I have pan on is Compass. That's actually quite a bit of pan. When I first started this project, I was excited to use this, but I was a little bit nervous because I felt like I hadn't explored the depth of this palette. And so my mission in the month of January was to really just explore all the shades. And that is something I don't always do. I tend to find myself naturally gravitating towards certain pockets of palettes or certain looks. And those basically become my go-tos. And then when I deplete an aspect of the go-to shade, I then discover something new. And that's good because it means I always kind of enjoy what I'm doing, but it's not great strategy-wise because then I'm sometimes left with shades that I can't deplete in the window of time that I have left. So as I was approaching this, I thought to myself, let's try a new strategy. Let's try, new year, new me, and let's try to really diversify and maximize the palette as much as you can. So I can tell you confidently that I've used every shade in here, but what I have noticed trend-wise is that a lot of looks are successful because Compass is my lid shade. Like, let me show you. Compass and Treasure go really well today. I consider it my Hunger Games look. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm the girl on fire when I put Treasure in my crease. Strange, but we're friends. I can tell you that. I also feel like Tell No Tales looks good with Compass. So I have done a number of looks with that. I also have loved Pirate's Chest with Compass. It's kind of like a monochromatic look. I've worn it in a bunch of different videos, and I just love the effect of this. It's basically a matte version of Compass, and it really is nice. So you can see there, those are 3 looks that I've done a lot of that all require Compass as a lid shade. So it makes sense if those have been my 3 like heavy looks that I've used, why I would have that much pan showing. I'll also say, like, on the other end of the spectrum, the other type of look that I've done is like a silvery look. So think about what I've got on my eyes today. I have used Silent Mary in my crease, and I've mixed it with Shiver Me, which is what I've got going on today. But I've also done Silent Mary in Yo Ho, which gives me a similar vibe to what I'm doing with Pirate's Chest and Compass. Like, I feel like those basically are a matte and a metallic or satin version of the same shade. So I love the look of that, but I can get a similar impression with Silver Mist. Like, I feel like Yoho and Silver Mist are relatively similar to each other. Like, I can get pretty comparable looks with them. I also got exploratory with Starry Night. Oh yeah. When looking at this, I started to notice, or at least I thought I started to notice, that Lost at Sea seemed to have like a blue vibe that could go with Starry Night. So what I ended up doing on a Saturday, which is when I tend to let myself play either with other palettes or play with like exploratory looks in my pan that palette that I would probably not wear to school, I did Lost at Sea in the crease, and then I did Starry Night all over my lid. It was a lot. I didn't necessarily feel like I was living my best makeup life that day. I really have no promises that Starry Night is going to become a go-to gal. I would like to try Starry Night with Shiver Me, which is like a pale, it's what I've got on my lid right now. It's very pale. And the reason why I think that might be successful is because I used Shiver Me with Menace. This is a really dark green, and it's very stark on my complexion, and I figured like shot in the dark, probably Menace and Shiver Me wouldn't go well, like they'd mush together. False. Shiver Me held its own all day. It did not mesh with Menace. It did not blend together to create a different color. I was really impressed by that. Now this is a matte versus Starry Night is a metallic. So maybe they well blend together because they're a similar formulation. I don't know. But I feel like if that doesn't work together, Starry Night probably doesn't have too many days left in the palette. We'll see. The other thing I'll say is I did Menace with Sea Haze. I really don't see myself finishing Menace off. I'm not even sure if I hit pan on it, but while I have some other like lid shades that I can mix with it, it can stick around, but it really is an intense shadow color on me. So a lot, like I said, I really went for it with all of the looks that I could do. I don't think I've maxed out on combinations, but I have found a lot of variety with go-to looks that I'm really pumped about. The one thing I do say I fear a bit is once Compass is gone, I definitely am gonna have to pull some other kind of gold in because I just don't think the palette will be as effective. And then the other takeaway that I'll say that I think this palette is lacking for my makeup preferences, like I feel like I'm missing some kind of pink, and I don't know necessarily it's pink, but I feel like with this palette right now, I have a lot of gray, cool tones happening, or I have looks that are more like neutral, warm leaning, which isn't a bad thing. I've been liking them, but there are some times where I find myself thinking like, I would just like a nice pink lid or like a champagne lid, which I don't really have much of in this palette, and that's fine. Like it doesn't fit in with the theme of pirates, like to have a pink in here, but it is another aspect of my makeup preferences that I like that this palette doesn't offer me. So on the weekend, I probably will tap into those types of shades to be able to get more of that look that I feel like I'm missing a little bit. But all in all, real happy with month 1 and looking forward to just seeing if I can get any more pan. I'd really like to see pan on some matte shades because those are really hard to get pan on, but I don't think we're gonna get that for quite some time. So the final thing we'll talk about is just the compartment. I had a couple of people ask me questions about, I think, this aspect. So when this collection launched, they had an eyeshadow palette and a face palette. I I don't think there was anything else, but I acquired this palette at a Marshall's. I was somebody who liked the idea of the collection, but didn't feel like it was worth, I want to say, the $45 I think this palette traditionally retailed for at first. So part of their premise when they launched both of those was that they put a hidden compartment in the eyeshadow palette so that way you could hide your face palette in here. It was cute for the concept because pirates always have hidden compartments on their ships, and like that fits in with the movie, and it is like a way that they kind of justified the beefiness of this. But as somebody who doesn't own that face palette, nor do I want to, it really isn't an advantageous feature for me to have and does not help justify the thickness of this palette, but whatevs. I am making progress on the palette. It does seem feasible that she be gone by the end of this year, which is so exciting. All right, guys, that is it for me. If you have any look suggestions or color combos, go ahead and hit me with those. I hope that you've enjoyed chatting with me during this relatively long 1 month update, and I'm so looking forward to showing you where I'm at after 2 months of progress. Have a fabulous day. Bye.